Yes, and with that, a warm welcome to this little rims special today. You are still with us on the BMW project. Today we will take a closer look at the rims. From a distance, they don't look too bad at all. However, if you take a closer look, you will notice one or two problem areas, especially back here. It's wonderful to see here on this surface, we have very, very heavily baked in stains. You can see tar and brake dust here, and I have to make it very clear to you that chemistry and polish have unfortunately completely given up here. So that has not been possible anymore. Here, you can also see in the rear area, you get an impression of what kind of maintenance has been done to the vehicle over the last few years. And I believe here it has effectively only been through a car wash. That means these brake dust particles could get baked in for a long time. Out here, there has certainly been some work done with rim cleaner, but in the depth back here, you can see what is coming our way at the end of the season, in November, which will be really intense. But first, I want to clean the front area nicely with you. So any tar remover, any tree sap remover, any rim cleaner, whether pH neutral or acidic, no matter what I have tested here, it just didn't work. And this is also a bit of a wake-up call to you out there. Just don't let it get this far in the first place, because that would simply require a lot of work. But here, if we look down, you can see this free area that is really very, very clean and clear. Here I applied a technique that worked quite well. Now I want to clean these areas really well together with you. And for that, we will use a product that is a bit more special. Specifically, we will be using sandpaper here. This is 5000 sandpaper. I have taken off a piece. You can also get a small block like this. You can use these small sanding pads. I take a small piece of sandpaper to clean the area a bit from dirt. Here you also have to pay attention. These are painted aluminum rims, silver. You can also see here, where I have already worked, how smooth the paint is now. And the water even beads off really well. And where we have nothing, we have a really big puddle of water here. And here we still have all the remaining dirt that we are going to loosen now. I'll get a little closer with you. I think this should become a bit more visible down here now. And such residues that cannot be removed with chemical cleaners and polish will eventually have to be dealt with using sandpaper. But that doesn't mean you should immediately sand through the clear coat just because I have sandpaper in my hand. There are significant differences. This is a 5000 sandpaper. I spray the area a little with water, then the sandpaper goes a bit further down. But with 5000 sandpaper, it is really very, very gentle. And you can also notice here that even the sandpaper does not dissolve it immediately. But now you see, do you see this brown, firmly crusted rust veil? Look here, this is how it goes down. This is really an absolute extreme case, and I wanted to show it to you as well. It's not just about cleaning it up and saying, look how beautiful the rim is, but really taking you on this journey to show you what happens when you don't properly maintain the vehicle. And this sandpaper is so gentle that these stains don't come off immediately. This is also a good indication that we could, on one hand, increase the strength a bit more, but it also shows well that the sandpaper is not too harsh to damage the paint here in any way, because it doesn't come off immediately and really glides very, very gently over the surface. So, you can see here what is coming off from the old rust track. Let's play this back. And now you can already see here what we have in the open space. Now you can see how stubborn this is. And it also shows again that using a polish won't make it disappear. With a polish and some cleaner, you won't achieve anything here. It's simply a lack of maintenance. Look how beautiful it is here now. A dream, ultra smooth, super, super fine. So we could definitely go over it again with a stronger sandpaper. Let's test one here. You can definitely notice a difference. It's not extreme. I could have used it again, but I've worked with it several times already. That means it's a bit stronger here. So we're going over this surface again now. You can immediately notice that the friction effect is much stronger. Just look at the significant speed advantage. These baked-in stains, rust particles, dissolve immediately from the surface. So this is clearly more effective. Anyone who says they have a very light haze on the surface should really only experience that to a very minimal extent with the wet sanding paper. You can also go over it with a subsequent polish, but you really have it absolutely clean here. If you have tried all the chemicals, just look. It works most effectively with wet sanding paper. but pay attention to the thicknesses you use. Clearly. So now you can go around the rims and touch everything up again. And for lighter stains, you can quickly switch to using it. But here, you immediately notice the difference, as you have to rub on that spot for much longer to achieve the same so-called sanding or cleaning performance on the surface. But it is definitely a method that works reliably. However, in this case, I would really work with the wet sanding paper, and just like that, it's all gone. Perfect. Here on the other side, we also have a very tough case, one of the most severe spots here. And as you can see, it can only be resolved like this with 1,000. It's just really sad. And I'm not pressing down hard here, just gently going over it. Look at what else is coming off and how well, quickly and effectively this works. But make sure to test everything beforehand. My very important tip is to definitely test everything out first, including polish with a cone, because afterwards you will also need to use polish to make everything look nice again, especially on black rims. So, it's impressive here as well. It's just simple. It really annoys me how someone can neglect a vehicle to the point where such extreme measures are needed to remove those scorching hot, baked in, dirt residues from the paint that have been there for ages. It's actually quite sad, but everything is doable. So, as you have seen, sometimes it really requires sharper means to remove such absolutely neglected residues. And therefore, just to conclude, don't let it get that far. Try everything else first. Acidic rim cleaner with a brush or also solvent-based cleaners. It always depends on what exactly it is. Sometimes it looks like this and you think, yes, it must be something extreme, but then it's just tar. However, these are really massively burned in and charred. Particles accumulated over the many years, and that's the kind of work you end up with. So don't let it get that far in the first place. A little appeal video at this point, however, it can be removed and you can get it back to a really nice level, as you can see here on the page. So for me, this is going to be a labor-intensive task, and for you, just a reminder. Take care of your car, don't let it get to this point, and then you'll never have to deal with such work and stress. Until next time, thank you for watching, folks.